Hello. On the first episode, we have Mr. Surya, under whom I have done my first internship in VIT, and the product which he is developing with his team would revolutionize India in the dentist sector. So let's hear from him. What did he do?
So, hello all. So, this is Surya, founder and CEO of Clowak Innovations. So, we are at Little VIT University. So, little bit background myself. I'm a mechanical guy from VIT University, and I was working with various fields in MNCs and the startups and also the PSUs. So, after all this 6 or 7 years of experience, started this company called Cloak. So what we do is we convert the traditional dental clinic in a portable form. So you can see this is our current prototype, and we are collaborated with the Puducherry government, and it's going on now.
So Surya, how did you get the idea of developing the portable dentist clinic? Whereas there are many options available to the dentist, and this market in India is really vast. From where did it begin?
So it's all started with my sister. She's also the co-founder and chief dental officer of Cloak Innovation. So when she was doing her second year degree, so unlike the engineering or arts, they need to do the some procedures as a practical with the patients to complete their quota for their exams as well. So what we do for attendance, the same day they have to do some 10 procedures with the patient. So she was doing her videos. Like in India, we have more than 320 private colleges and only 15 government colleges. So where the 15 government colleges, many patient inflow will be there. The private, you all know, it should be in highway area and nearby village won't be there. So the patient inflow is very less. So she was paying to the agent and getting the patients. It all started from there, and after some research and talks with the experts, we came up with this idea.
So after you got an idea, what's the next step? Like, because when a guy gets an idea that okay, there's a void in a specific industry, in a specific sector, what should be the next step to do?
So in my case, so I have a little experience in the mechanical field to build a product. So those things I know. But in the case of business, I'm not aware. I'm a first generation entrepreneur. So I was not aware how to do that, what to do that. So when we got idea and we talked with many dental experts, not the business people, the dental experts, and we came up with some ideas and we built the product. So the problem what we faced is, so we build a huge product, so which has 24 functions and like many things what we researched in Google, those things we added and built a huge advanced product. So when we talked again with the dental experts, nobody was ready to buy that. So because they don't need those functions. So I say that when we have an idea, so we need to talk to the customers who is going to pay. So after that we realized, and again we talked to the customers, and again we did the prototype this one. It has only 4 functions what they need. So not the too many functions it doesn't need. So I say that so you need to talk to the who is your paying customer. We need to talk to them first, then we will start technical or any other stuff. It's secondary. Next part we need to do that.
So the main idea is that in this world, you can Google things, but you can't get what customers want.
Exactly.
For that, we need to do a proper market research, and the principle here is less is more.
Yes, exactly.
Keep your product less functional, give it, make it a bit less complicated, and maybe it will boost.
Right. And also you need to do the customer discovery process first. Who is your target customer? Because in my case, dental means it's a vast. Dentists are there, oral hygienists are there. In dental itself, many things are there. So established dentist, a newcomer. So many divisions will be there. So you need to have the correct target segment, and then you start. That's where you should do the customer discovery process there first.
So after you got the idea, you also made a product which went fail.
Yeah.
Now you got to know that okay, you will have to talk to the paying customer. How did you identify that who is your paying customer, and how did you do the market research?
So this is little. So first itself we had the category of 7 segment in the dental field. One is dental colleges we kept. So where we started initially to make the product. And second is the dentist. Third is oral hygienist, and the government sector. And it goes on. So how we did this? So when we failed in this also. So what did we do is we went directly to the dentist and told that we have a product. We go to the home and do the treatment like that. So when he is an established dentist, so he said, why should I go? Already I am getting the customer, and why should do? So again we went to the newcomers, so and we showed them. So what did they say is, so since we are a newcomer, so we should have the best in class equipment to attract the patients. So yours is a new product, so we cannot take that. So this was happening. So that's where we have known that during the customer discovery process, we have taken surveys, and with the more than 200 to 300 people we have discussed regarding this various forms of people in this ecosystem. So we came that the dentist product in India, they will buy the imports, not the Indian made products, due to the past experience. So what we thought is we need to get the trust from the people first. So we went for the government sector, the National Oral Mission department in India. So they are being started for promoting the oral care. So you can see in the theaters the first video will be there, the oral cancer ads will be there. So those all from that segment. So we approached them. So they are currently using my product as a clinical testing thing in Puducherry government. After government using, the trust will be there. So then we'll go for the dental college. So where we give the talks there, show our product. So we'll establish our brand in the young minds. That's what we are doing currently.
So like before starting this company, you were working in some other company. Now to shift from being an employee to being an entrepreneur, how did the confidence came? Because it needs a lot of guts. There are also financial strains. You also have to, there you are working 9 to 5, now you are working whole day from 9 to 9. So how did it happen?
In my case is little different, because initial days, the first and second year after completing my college only, I was there in the 9 to 5 job. So after that I was there fully in the taking care of the business perspective side. So that so it's all like again in business as CEO job it was like. So I was there in the business development, so it was like completely same process. I don't have the only financial part is little problem. Other than that, I didn't see any difference in that.
So but it takes a lot of guts to again put that financial strain on yourself. For the product, once you have also identified who is your customer, once you have identified that okay, what we have to make, you also failed 2 times. So now you know okay, what is the exact thing you have to make. Once you develop it, how do you fund it? Because till getting to the point where you have failed 2 times, there has been also a lot of money being wasted.
Right.
So how you come up through that? Is there any government plans for that? Do you go to a VC? Do you fundraise through family? How did you do it?
So my case is little different. I'm on like get guy. So anything need to get, I'll get that. So that's like I'm the process guy. So when I got an idea, so I will use my money. So I went to an incubator, VIT. So I got the grants from DST department. So I used that to make the failed products. So not my money, right? The first of all. So anyway, I invested my time and other thing which I will get if I work some other place money. So that part alone, it's a financial problem. So other than that, for making a product, those things I have got the grants from government, and with that I started. So after that, I got second stage, next stage funding from that's too from government, and also Tamil Nadu government. Also we got an 10 lakhs grant from Tamil Nadu government. So we have been regularly getting those funds where and all it's possible. So to do that, to become a stabilized in financial, I was getting that. So I'm not a bootstrap or that thing.
Okay, so you are right now developing the products from the grants provided to you by the government.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you believe in this thing that an entrepreneur is born or he's made?
He's
There are-
made, I guess.
Is made. So how do you make an entrepreneur?
That's where these it's all because can say I can say that in Tamil Nadu people are mostly problem to go to the jobs, not as an entrepreneur. It's like the genetically they are being through. So if you go for Gujarat or Rajasthan, those they will see their parents when they'll do, and basically they'll come up with an idea and they will be more talkative, or the product expression they'll be there. In Tamil Nadu, like so my parents are job going people, not in business people. So likewise, whatever persons have seen, so all are government jobs or job seekers, not an entrepreneurs. So this all thing is from the experience what they see. So my impact is on. So I had friends many from the different states. So they have been very successful in this entrepreneur journey. So I was with them. So where I experienced that fruit. So I've seen that. So there only will get. So same way when the people experience that fruit, then only they will be made. So not an thing like that. It's like it's like it's a society thing, I guess.
So the people whom you be with, the people influence you in certain way. So even if you don't have the entrepreneurial mindset, you be with the people who have been successful in the journey and will guide them.
Exactly. So I've seen many interns. So those worked with me. So in my company also started their business. Before that, they don't have any idea on starting and startup. So they want to go for a campus interview and selected. So even many got a good package, a dream, super dream also offers, and they didn't go for that and started, and they are successful now, literally. So that's where they need to experience that. I felt.
Now I would again like to go back a bit. I would like to know that how did you convince your parents?
So
what was the reaction when you told that okay, I am leaving my job, I am doing this thing, and maybe I would fail? What was the reaction and how did you convince them?
So my parents were a little bit different. So they didn't stop me with anything. So all my decisions were taken myself. What the college I need to go, or the office where to work. So initially I was working in Mumbai. So I called off that job and came back to Chennai. So I was shifting constantly also. That's all decision by myself. And my parents were supportive. Even financial also they were supportive in some cases for my company. So I got that flexibility and opportunity I had, which many does not have.
Yeah. So I would like to get your thoughts on this one thing which I think that should an entrepreneur marry an idea or should he date an idea? The thing is that there are many people out there who get an idea and they marry them. They don't want to live, even if the idea is not prevalent in India. It's not there. There's no word, but they still are chasing them. Maybe they would fail, but they would not leave. They would not move on from that idea.
So with my past experience, I say that you should not love your idea or marry or live with your idea. So you need to love the and work with the problem, not the idea. So ideas will we'll get different ideas for a solution each, because we will be changing with the perspective, and everything will be changing, and the other part also will be changing, the people's way. So before that, people were like in the Nokia phones, in the smartphone, Android, Apple. So it's all came, right? So people, the same functions we have in the 12 iPhone, but again 13 launched, not much difference. People go to that. So when you are like your idea, like your marry or something, so you will stagnate in one place. So you should the problem. So if you like the problem, marry the problem, so you can bring your idea in many ways to keep that. And also it should be it should be friends with benefits option, not with the love or marriage thing. So that will be good, I guess.
Yeah. So do you think that this is what I think that, and when we are a guy starting a startup, he has an idea, he has a problem. Let's take for example, give the idea 5 years.
Okay.
For 5 years you hustle, you do whatever it takes. But after 5 years you are mentally prepared, okay, in these 5 years if I make no progress, if I am failing, I will just leave it. I will move on to another idea. So what should be the time limit? You should know that okay, after this time limit, I won't give time to this idea because maybe it's dead. It's not there and I am just marrying it.
So it's like the experts say that, so you should be in an idea or a startup only for a maximum period of 3 years, not more than that. So if you are not making any progress after 3 years, you should pivot from that. So that's the better option, because keep on going with that, it's something one thing is maybe the idea will be good, so you are ahead of time or back in time, right? So I say that just after 3 years, just pivot that. So you have already done the work, so you can find it's like a reverse process. You should do that time. So you have a product, so you can change the product to some other problem, fit into it which is needed. So that you can pivot that and go for that. So I say that.
Understand that maybe it's the right idea at the wrong time, or it's wrong time at the right time.
Exactly.
So once you have started a startup, you have registered a company, how do you hire people? Because I think the main core is the 5 people who work with you. The guy who handles your marketing, the guy who handles the sales, the one who looks after the finance, the one who is the CEO, the one who handles all the finances of the company. How do you find a team, the people who are ready to hustle for that 3 years with you?
So in my case, so I've been for all the phases for the first year. So I was taking care of the marketing, technical, everything I was taking care. So and my sister. So we both shared and we are taking for first year we did. We don't have any big person. After first year, we had the interns. So we are not in the stage of paying salary to the employees. So we had the interns and we trained them for 1 or 2 months and made them to fit into our place, because I'm a mechanical guy and we need support from electronics. So which it's difficult for me to learn and do that. So we had a person and but I can train him. So with various options I will give him and make him train to do my job. So I trained him. So he did the electronics part. So later on that worked me. So I was there incubated in VIP. So the sake of this employee category for that thing, because I do not pay to any people. So I can hire the interns because it's a world class university. You have the super students here. So you have the people, so you can hire them and you can train them and you can get the work done. So it will be a two-way process for them and as well as us. So I prefer those things. So now we got little fractions and things. So now we hire a person. So we have 3 employees as a permanent staff. Other than that, everybody is an intern till now.
So once you
should not waste much money in the human resource. As for the physical product involved company, so it's an IT company, you can do that. So when it's an physical product involved, so we do much money on R&D and those stuff.
Yeah. So again, once you also found the people, you hired interns. So what do you believe? If you don't have money to pay to your employees, if a company doesn't have money, should they give stake to the core team? And what should be the ideal percentage you should tell it to the core team? Like, should you give them equal? Should you make them your equal partners? Should you give them a minority stake? And also explain that what is this concept of ESOPs which we hear?
So this is little higher thing, I guess, in this area. So it's an tier 3 city. So when you find people here, so they doesn't know what is equity, what is share, nothing they know. They will be in the mindset of how much you pay monthly. That's their mindset. So to make them convincing for this is very difficult here. I don't think so that will work here. So when a person travel with your wavelength, so I guess we also had the 3 employees, right? So we have been not paid to them for 3 months in between. So where we were financially, so they were with us actually all the full time, because they know they spend much time here. So when the startup, many people will understand that, I guess.
Right. And what is this concept of ESOPs? That many company, when they register themselves as a private limited company, they dilute a certain percent of their equity for employees. So what is this whole concept?
So I've never done that, and I will not believe in that diluting my company thing, because we got some VCs funding also for dilution. So I said no for that. Till I'll make traction, I don't want to dilute any of my shares in my company. That's the motto I had. So, but they can do, because when it's an IT company or the other fast-growing technology companies, when they need a higher resource person, So who gets 3 lakh or 5 lakhs per month, it seems. So we cannot pay them. So when you dilute it, he will be ready to pay, ready to work for the company. So all the times he will be like a partner. So that diluting that thing will be work in many fields. But in my company, I didn't do that. So I'm not in the thinking of doing that also in the future.
Yeah. So it's also relatable to a tweet which I recently saw that it said that make a bootstrap business successful and you will sleep like a baby. There's no issue. You don't have to be answerable to anyone. You have the 100% stake in your company. So in India right now, which is your favorite startup? Like whom do you look up to? As a founder, as a company, who is your motivation?
So there are many actually. So because we learn from each and every founder. So I like most is the Zoho. So they have been bootstrapped completely. So when they started the same time of the Wipro or any other company, they were in the high position and those companies were very performing well. And this is very light and nobody knows this company. We are slowly going on. So till now the CEO has 98% of shares in the company, and only 2% that too to they shifted their office from Chennai to Silicon Valley. So in their government, somebody should be there in that. That's why they give 2%, not the as an thing. So that's the startup I mostly see it as an inspiration. That thing.
Okay. So like for a long-term vision, bootstrap is really nice. You will have to hustle. You will have to also put financial strains on your personal life, but it's worth it, I guess. Like, you don't have to dilute your company. At the end, if the company becomes successful, you have the majority stake and you are the owner of the company.
Right, that's the one way, but we cannot neglect the other field also. Because I see many people will start a company, so bootstrap or with the VC fund or angel fund, and then for still certain level they will make it little look like a hire, and they sell the company and they leave.
Yeah.
So I see many people on that. They are also very successful, right? So it has both has advantage, and which you take, you can. That's what I see.
Okay, so now let's shift from this to a technical aspect. Once you have made the product, right, and also you have prototyped it, how do you sell it? Like, from what is this journey of a startup from moving from the prototype stage to moving to a final product?
So you should not make it as a, when you have a prototype, the same time you will be starting the marketing thing. So now you should not wait for the product to complete, because if you start planning to complete the product, so you will not stop it. So it will go on next function, or refine the product. It's keep on going. So when you put that into market, so where you will get the response from the people, and if anybody is ready to buy your prototype itself, that's where you can start earning the money. So you should it's completely ready or not necessary. So you want to put that in the market as soon as possible. Then you will the marketing stuff, those will take directly when you started in the prototype stage itself. That's what I say.
So once you are also moving from the prototype stage, how often do you change the functions of the product? How often do you upgrade the product? Because from a prototype, the idea is to make it a better product and a more finished product. So how often do you identify that, okay, maybe we should upgrade here, maybe we should upgrade there? How do you identify this?
That's all based on the reviews what we get actually. So we don't upgrade as one customer says that you need to change this. We don't do that. So if it's from the majority of people, then only we'll change. We don't take a single percent review and do the product. That's I learned from the my mentors and everybody, that because one may like, 10 may not like, right? So you need to go for the 10 people, not the one. This is what I see.
And also, if you are going to your customers, like whom did you sell this product first? At the prototype stage, who was the customer who bought it and gave you the reviews?
So the first is a doctor in Vellore, so dentist. He bought that and gave a review. And the second, the bigger thing is we got from Puducherry government. That's the main customer we got. So they checked and reviewed and also a college in Andhra Pradesh called Vishnu Dental College. So they have reviewed us. So now we got the traction, but we are in the process of taking to next stage.
In this area, many of the startups who are coming up all have this one vision to develop a D2C brand. All are there in the technology space, majority of them. All want to serve the customers directly. How do you approach the government to use your product? Like, what is the initial step?
So as of our product, so we are satisfying a pain point of a government. So in Puducherry government, what the problem they have is they have an They go for a treatment with 6 dentists into that. So when they go for a village and do the treatment, so at a time one patient can be done, and also only one doctor can perform. The rest of the doctors were simply standing outside controlling the crowd, but government is paying for all the 6 dentists. So all our doctors paid equally, but one is doing, so and also the queue will be long. So this is the pain point they had. To solve, our product is solving that thing. So it's cost effective and it is multiplying product so that they can rest of us also can use. So when we have a solution for their product, they take that. So we don't want to convince them, right? So if something it's like what to say, if it's a vitamin, you need to convince. It's a painkiller, you don't need. So just say that they have a pain, so you have painkiller, they will take that. So if it's a vitamin, you need to convince more, right? So it's a painkiller for us, we do. So I don't think so we have much difficulty in that.
And how do you, when you are approaching the government, when you are dealing with the government, how do you decide the price of the product? And do you also feel that also when you are serving the government, the same product when you are serving the customer, there should be a difference in the price?
Definitely. So many say that when you are going to the government, so you should keep the price low. I said I will keep the price high with the government because the paying from the government takes little time. So get back to you. So the check clearing time will be around 2 months or 1 month, it will differ. And also government is capable of paying you high. So government has much more money. If there is a pain point, they will be ready to pay. And also whatever price you keep, they will pay you. So whereas in the customer segment, you can't do that. So I do that for customers. I keep less. For government, I keep high.
And what is the strategy to develop a pricing point? Like, how do you develop? You just take a base price that okay, this is my cost price. You make your profit and you sell, or do you price it as per the industry standards? You go that okay, who is my customer? If the customer is rich, I will make it a bit more costly. If the customer is a bit middle class, we will make it less costly.
So what I did is for Puducherry government, I checked the budget. So what they have, so and what they are spending for past 2 years on equipments. So with basis of that and my unit economics cost what we have prepared. So I balanced that and made the price. So I see same to the customers also. So I'll take a general survey. How much any product is an alternative that. So we are replacing some other product, right? So we will set that alternative, not be a same solution thing, but the different thing it might do, the different product what they are using now currently. So I'll set those price points and with nearing to that or higher than or lower than that, based on the requirement, we'll fix the price.
Also, once everything is done, okay, you are also making a physical product. You are not in a technology business, right? How do you identify the manufacturer? Because it's a manufacturing heavy product. You need to be really specific with the medical instruments. How do you identify that? Okay, who will make it? How do you find the manufacturer? And how do you negotiate the price? What is the framework of this whole process?
So initially, what we did is we designed everything and went for a fabricator, and we sent to them develop the product. So the output what we are getting is little not good actually, and also as per the medical things, it's not the perfect thing. So what we did is we categorized all the products in different things. The suitcase, who is expert in making suitcase? It's there in Gujarat. we'll go there, we'll give a design, and he gives its input. So with that thing, we'll collaborate and we'll make a suitcase. So when you take the electronics part, who is doing already related to that, we'll go there and do that. And also for chair, who is little familiar already with the chair, we'll give a design, we'll put an NDA with him, and he gives his inputs from his side, we do with him. So this is where we are doing currently.
Okay. So for every, so what I think, I would summarize it, is that you develop the whole product, then you go point by point. That okay, the product includes a suitcase. Who is the specialist then? You go to him. And for each point, you go to the specialist and you assemble.
Yeah.
Now, how do you make it cost effective? Because I think that when you are manufacturing a less quantity, the cost will be higher. How do you control it?
So this is not a mass selling product. So it's a customizable product. So when the doctor asks for 8 function, we give 8 function. When the doctor asks for 4 function, it's a 4 function. So the cost wise, it is like it's based on the customization, right? So the customized product, it will be little costly. So we are in the space that the customer will pay for that. So we don't do it masses because each has different taste segments. So we cannot do it as altogether to satisfy everybody a smartphone like thing. So we need to give somebody a TV, somebody something else camera. So like that we need to have different thing. So it's more customizable only.
So, what is your goal for the next 5 years? Like, where do you see this product and this company and yourself? That what is your not 5 years? Let's say the end goal. Where do you want it to be?
So we want to change this. So everybody became this type of generation. This on everything need to get to home, right? So this Swiggy food or any other. The same thing. I see that the dental also should be there. We cannot spend time on that. And also Indians doesn't go for dentist regularly. So we are planning to have an awareness among the Indians to use dentistry as such of the West, where they go for 6 months, every 6 months they go for a treatment, and the same kind of thing should be there here, and which should be created by Cloak, the awareness, and also we've been established brand in the dental field in India. So when you talk dental industry, the top 5 companies name, the Cloak will be there. This is what I plan to have. And we also tasted this success before itself. I'll talk this interesting thing. So when we displayed our product to the Minister of Tamil Nadu in Chennai, so that time that was an expo. So many people came there and talked to us. It's great like that. So again we displayed that in Puducherry and another expo with the another minister in Puducherry. It was different even. It was happened between 8 months of gap. So when we went there and displayed the product, one guy came. So he said that, so you guys do not know, this is already done. He said, this is already done and many people are doing this. Many companies is doing that. So they are doing it at much higher level. So you guys in Puducherry cannot do that. So he thought we are from that place. And he said that you cannot do that much. You need to know much knowledge to do this things, kind of things and all. So you need to talk to the experts. Like, so we asked, who is the experts? Can you arrange that? He said there is a guy in Vellore. Huh? He's much expert in this. So you better talk to him. He will guide you like that. So I am that guy. He doesn't know. So where we know that many people has already recognized our product. So that's where in every dental field, everybody should know that. That's what we feel after some years. End goal will be.
Yeah, so
Every dentist should know all
there
that.
is a lion in every industry. Yeah. So again, like moving apart from the product, moving apart from everything, that what is the marketing strategy? How does a startup work? How you have worked in the both fields? You have worked in PSU, you have worked in a company, you have studied in this VIT, huge campus, and now you're doing a startup. How is the working pattern different? How is the relationship between a boss and an employee different? What is the difference between a normal company which is working with lots of fund attraction and a startup where you are still finding that what is the correct product market fit?
So this startup culture mostly I would say much difference because it all depends on the founder perspective. So how the founder reacts to the company, how he keeps the company. So that's where it differs. So I've seen many startup, my friend's company, they are worked in already in the company and came here. They made the startup in the similar way as a company format. So I was in my company, so we are like friends, the other 4 or 3 people. So they'll come there. So we don't have any specific time to come and go the office timings. They come their preferred time, but they will do the work what to be done. So that's all purely based. I don't have any thing that the companies will have this type of format or startup will have this type of format and all. So it all depends on the founder's perspective, how he keeps the company. So when you stay a startup, it's the founder same personality, you can say that. So that depends on that. I've seen many MSMEs or established company also running in startup format. So what people say that it's a like thing. So and also in startup, I see many it's in company format like that. So it's all based on the founder's perspective, that thing.
So what there's this one book, The Lean Startup, if you have heard the name. So basically what it says is that a huge company, there would be a proper hierarchy. That okay, if you want to do a deal, first you will mail your manager will again mail his manager. In a startup, there's no time. You don't have time to sit and do a mail. You will just call him. You will just call the boss. The intern will directly converse the talk to the CEO and they make a deal. So do you believe that a startup has to be operated lean? There has to be no fat. You just work very efficiently. You just don't follow the hierarchy. The aim is that okay, let's find the product market fit, let's get the traction, and then we will see that okay, what is the hierarchy?
Again, it depends on the company actually. So it has pros and cons both. So when you have that intern can talk like that, so, and they have been little close together in this startup culture. So many ways when you don't document that, you'll forget after 1 month. So in that case, mailing will be a perfect documentation. In other way, in that case, it's not easy accessible, so it will take time. So like that will be there. So I think so. There should be a balance in between. There should be both, I guess.
And again, what do you think that right now in India there's a startup boom that everyone wants to do a startup. You just ask every guy what will you do? Startup. There's no space or mindset for a job. So do you think that okay, doing a job is really bad as they show right now that okay, if you are doing a startup, you are a cool guy. If you are doing a 9 to 5 job, then maybe there's something wrong with your life. What do you think?
That's in major cities, I guess. So I do have another organization, so where we promote startups in tier 3 and towns. So where I seen that, so that you can see in Chennai or Bangalore or Mumbai or Delhi or Kolkata, Hyderabad. So in major cities you can see. So other than that, when you go for an tier 3 cities, you will take tier 3 cities itself. So not even town or rural. So tier 3 cities. So where they doesn't know what is startup, what is business. So they need to go to the job. That's where their mindset. So when you take in cities, yes, it's happening. So you are a cool guy when you do a startup, not an. But I say that they need to work with some companies for at least 1 to 2 years to know the proper thing functioning. At least in a startup, they should be working because when they start much earlier, so they will taste the fruit in one day, or they may not. They will also fail, right? So when they taste the fruit with much smaller age without knowing what the other, it will also dangerous. When they fail, that also become dangerous, right? So better to do something in a job somewhere for 1 or 2 years. After that, if they come and start startup, it will be better, I guess. And also many awareness they don't have in the other than the tier 1 cities, I guess.
So you are right now located in a tier 3 city. You are in Bangalore in VIT. So do you feel that you are missing something if you are not there in Bangalore or Chennai? Like, is there any lack of resources, lack of talent which you face that okay, maybe if we were there in Bangalore, we would get a good talent or we would get good connects. Is there any difference?
Yeah, here we have VIT, so that's a different part. So when I was there outside the Vellore, I am not getting the much good resource. That's definitely true. I felt that. So if VIT is not there, so if I'm there in Vellore, so it will be very difficult. So I would have even with the VIT, so interns will be mostly working with 3 months or 4 months. Again, need to search a guy. So we will not get a stable guy. So that's little I also felt that when I am in Bangalore, I will get the resource or any parts I need immediately I can get. That ecosystem we will have. So that's what we are building with my another company, that bringing an ecosystem in this tier 3 cities. Hope every city will get that. Government also doing much more thing to bring the ecosystems in every places. I guess this will be sorted out in 5 to 6 years. I guess every city will have the ecosystem.
So, looking, what do you think that if there's a student in college, right, he is aspiring to become an entrepreneur. As you said earlier, that everyone before starting their own company has to work in another company for at least 1 to 2 years to get the experience. So, should a student do a startup in college to experience the whole ecosystem, or should he pass out, do a job, and then start a startup?
No, during college, like you, so you did an internship here, right? So you will have this what the ecosystem is, what you all know with that thing. So they can do their first year, second year, third year. They have 4 years, right? So they can do that 2 years in a college as an intern, and the final year they can start the company, right? They can do during their school time also they can do the internship. It's like working. I'm saying is that they need to be part of some company to gain some knowledge. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so let it be a job or an internship.
Yeah.
You need to have a knowledge of how does it work.
Yeah.
And how does a student manage the studies with a startup? Should the focus only be on the startup, that okay, I'm focusing on my startup academics, let it be, I will just maintain the minimum needs, or what should be the balance between the both?
That's so I've seen many students started in second year or third year the startup. They're taking it successfully followed also. So it's like an extracurricular activities they can do that. So the school days they can do something sports as well as the academics, right? The same balance they can maintain here also. Because since the startup, the first 3 years or 2 years won't be much, it'll be much work, but also they can do it in lower level also. They can manage that in that case also. So I guess they should know how to manage that. So my perspective is they should concentrate on academic. So they should have some degrees, because the government grants or any other VCs, they see your background, what you know. So that's in Indian system they see it's with a degree, right? So I better say that till at least for 10 years the mindset won't change. So better to have that academics part, little concentration here will be better.
And what do you feel that where is this whole industry going on right now? How, because people think that starting a startup in 4 years they will become a billionaire.
That's a dream they say. So one mentor said me that. So when you have idea, people think that they are Superman. So we are solving all the problems of the world. So after 1 year, they will know they are just a normal guy. So who is little suffering, like that they will come. So in the next year, what they have become is another superhero, Deadpool. How much beating they get, they will know that. So it's like a heavy, what to say, so difficult field only. So that's it.
So what I think is that there's at least a time of 10 years that we should give, that when a startup has to be called a company, that differentiate when you start a startup, it takes about at least approximately 10 years to actually call it a company, a working company where there is a lot of traction, there are a lot of employees. Do you believe in that?
No, so many startups have seen that after third year or fourth year itself, they became unicorn also. There's a company in Kerala, I guess, they got the unicorn status in a 1 year period of time. So it's again on the product and the solutions what they are making. So usually the normal businesses take that time, 10 years to become an established business. The startups is like that, in a short period of time they'll become a company. So that's where the startup is all that. I say it's little more lower time itself they can become that much status.
So then what should be the definition, that when should you stop calling a company a startup? For example, there are also many people who still call Zero the Canada startup, whereas they are unicorns, right? So what should be the exact definition or what should be the idea that okay, now it's a company, don't call it a startup?
So people say the startup as per the cool guy you said the same thing. So when they become bigger also they call them as a startup because show it as it's an huge achievement they have reached and also they are startup. So in the status of startup they are achieved like that. So I think so when they certain amount of money when they hit the traction they should stop calling the name startup and move it to a company thing.
And now this question I wanted to ask you only. Personally, just focusing on Surya. Okay, no, nothing else. What do you do when there's no traction? Like, for example, let's say the 3 months time which you said you didn't have money to pay your employees, right? At that time, what is there going in your mind? How do you think at a personal level? How do you overcome it? Do you feel that okay, maybe it was because we get these thoughts that maybe it was a mistake to leave my job. What will I do now? This is a failing product. How do you overcome these thoughts as a founder? Because you are the sole hero for everyone now.
So I was discussing with my team actually. So plan to close the Cloak. So that time, and then again we talked to many mentors and experts what we can do because we have already something we have done. So anything we can done like that we asked, and luckily we got some more grants after that. So to sustain. So that period of time it was very difficult to. I was thinking going for some other job, losing this. So I had little that time. So depression state I was there. So that's where the discussion. So when you have a discussion with many people, the pains will go. So you get some positive points from somebody. So when we had a discussion, we one guy said that this is a grant openings was there. You can apply and get that. So we all tried that and we got. So when you sit and talk to multiple persons only, you can overcome those phases. Better having discussion regularly will that's what benefited me, I guess.
So now I think we are at the end of the podcast. So any last thing which you would like to say to the students not in VAT specifically, but the students who are there after exploring the area of doing a startup or becoming an entrepreneur?
So that's what I said first. The thing, they should love the problem. So problem is always constant. It won't change, right? The solution will change always. So if you have an idea for a problem, so if you love the idea alone, so you will not able to change that. So it will be an ego issue or many things will happen. So you will be in open mind that so if this doesn't work, so I will try some other way to solve the problem. So love the problem. That's what I say.
So don't marry your problem, be friend with benefits with them.
That's
the whole crux of it. So thank you for being on the show and
Thank you.